Hey, finally, another 1980s news. Did the latest Ghostbusters trailer spoil the movie? Now, it came out a couple of weeks ago. The latest, or the most recent trailer. We talked more openly about a teaser trailer that came out a few months ago. We haven't talked about the trailer except for maybe in our exchanges, behind the scenes, and even then, not that in depth. And I've got to tell you, I watched it once and I immediately regretted watching it because I felt like I learned too much about the movie, including cameos of characters of that from the prior movies that we didn't know otherwise were going to be in there. It seemed like would have been a pleasant surprise. I think clearly you could tell who becomes the villain. You're told who additionally becomes a Ghostbuster. We see them return to some iconic locales from the previous films. We see the return of 2 ghosts from prior movies.
Yeah, when there weren't enough
from the
ghosts
first
for
movie
John.
specifically.
Yeah, there weren't enough ghosts for John at first, and now
now they fixed it.
Too many,
2 ghosts
right?
from the first movie are in.
So you're talking specifically about what Slimer and the librarian, right?
Yeah. I wasn't going to say, but that's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's in the trailer. It's not like we're spoiling anything.
Well, people might want to avoid the trailer because that's ultimately what I'm going to suggest from now on. Let's just stop watching these trailers.
Stop watching them. Oh well, there goes half our news.
And there's some catchphrases in there too that, again, it would have been fun. So anyway, I've been lamenting trailers for decades now. I stopped watching them sometime late in the 1980s. Literally, I would be with my partner and put my fingers in my ears. I am not joking. You could ask my wife because I still did it as long as we've been together. Put my fingers in my ears, look down, and hum. So I didn't hear or see anything.
But we just broadcast one 2 weeks ago, a trailer.
Okay. A couple things changed. One, we have this podcast. But 2, so to John's point, we need content.
Yeah.
But the other thing is I don't see the need to see a trailer if I know I want to see the movie.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to see it. Yeah. It's funny you say that because I can't remember even what film it was, but there was a film a year or 2 ago that someone told me ahead of time, this trailer gives way too much away. And so in the theater, I would sit just like you said, la, 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 like that, which was, so my regular movie buddies were used to that. And then I went to the theater. My wife went with me and she's like, what are you doing? Quit it. It's annoying. I'm like, I'm trying to not see whatever this thing is because I knew I wanted to see it. That was the problem. The problem was I heard that it gave too much away, but I was just quit being weird. It was what she...
Yeah. Well, Go ahead. So look,
I don't mind trailers. I like them.
No,
I don't crazy go out of my way to watch them, but when I see one, I don't worry about what I'm seeing. I'm just, look at that. I don't know. I think it definitely can draw me in. If there's something in there that's appealing, it's going to make me want to see more.
On the flip side of that, though, Will, is that I will avoid reviews of movies I know I want to see.
Sure.
I trust the filmmakers to not ruin the best parts of the movie. Maybe that's naive. Maybe look, their motivation is not to surprise you. Their motivation is revenue. So they're going to show you the stuff they think will get you in the theater.
Yes.
It's not, the trailers are not an artistic endeavor. They're a financial endeavor. So I get there's some danger there.
Yes.
But reviews, if I already know I'm going to see it, like Kat, she's like, I'll just see it. I don't care the review. The review will tarnish the movie for me if I go in knowing it's bad. Sometimes I'll check the review to see if I want to see a movie that I don't, but if I'm going to see it, reviews are off limits. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and you said a few things there, John, and I think I was about to challenge you on one thing, but I think in the end it all evened out.
Oh, I want to hear it.
And not challenge. Well, to your point, I mean, first you said they're not in the biz, or it's not in their interest to reveal too much or spoil the movie,
right?
But then you also said, look, it's their job ultimately to get butts in seats.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first thing that I think we could take issue with, only because again, this was anecdotal for me, and then I started digging into for folks that actually started researches these things, and I found a 2021 article in Mental Floss that asked, why does Hollywood appear so hell-bent on removing any traces of mystery from previews. And the article goes on to answer the question, and the answer is focus groups.
Okay.
So, as you probably know, and for folks who don't, studios don't do the trailers themselves. They actually farm it out to companies whose sole business is to create trailers,
Okay.
And promotions. Yeah. And what these folks do is one man, John Reddick, will see a movie no matter what.
Against all odds. Yeah.
Regardless of spoilers. But they create dozens of versions of a trailer, and then they show it to test audiences in order to see what they find most appealing. And according to this Vulture article, a marketing executive, David Singh, said that the response is usually that viewers like to see more. More action, more and more spoilers. And look,
they're right.
Another consideration to John's second point is that these companies appreciate that they're in this media landscape. They're competing for eyeballs now against YouTube and streaming services and birthday parties or whatever.
Yeah.
And so studios feel compelled to make their entire case in the 2 minutes. This is everything the movie has to offer.
Well,
including the best parts.
Another thing to tack onto that, you've probably noticed that. I mean, we're all busy on social promoting our own endeavors. So you've been on social enough, across Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and everything. Trailers themselves are events with release dates now.
Yes.
In 3 days, the trailer for blah, blah, blah. And like, wow, we can't wait. So you got to deliver on a promise. It used to be a trailer. Yeah, right. It used to be that the trailer was like, oh, did you see that thing? It's out. And now they're like, in just 2 more days, you're going to see whatever it is. And so they've got to deliver something now that they've promised on. If the trailer is just, it's interesting.
Yeah. I want the trailer that teases the trailer coming out to spoil the trailer coming out. Like it shows the whole
next
trailer.
Week, the teaser trailer to line you up for the real trailer in 2 weeks.
Or as soon as a movie is greenlit, in 2 years, the teaser trailer.
Barring unexpected interruptions.
Barring. There's a disclaimer.
Right. Assuming there are no more strikes from the Writers Guild.
Oh, no.
One man.
One man
will start casting for a film
yet to be developed. So, in practical sense, when they put this all out there, they're really trying to get the film goers that are on the fence, because I think most folks are like me. If you're going to go, you're going to go, regardless of the trailer showing too much.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I know that plot twist now. Fuck it. I ain't seen it at all.
Yeah, you're right. You're going to see it.
That's not going to happen, right?
But not all directors, however, favor this, I want to say contemporary type of trailer, but it's been happening for a long time, and I've got some examples for you. In 2017, David Lynch told the Rolling Stone that, quote, these days movie trailers practically tell the whole story. I think it's really harmful. For me personally, I don't want to know anything when I go into a theater. End quote. And they're like, Mr. Lynch, this is a 7-Eleven. This isn't a movie theater. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Well, so side one of that coin is, even after you've seen a David Lynch film, you're still not certain what that film was about.
That explains it. Yeah.
The other side of that coin is that I've lost my train of thought because I'm thinking of stupid David Lynch movies. No, the other side of the coin is I have watched movies. I've watched trailers. I've sat and watched trailers, and I've said, well, I think I've already seen it. I've definitely said that. I've turned and said to someone. And then there are trailers I'll watch and go, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
So I think you can not show enough to let someone know they want to see the movie. It's because it's financial, right? It's not meant to entice you. It's meant to get you to buy the ticket. So
Yep.
So here's some examples from the 1980s where I think trailers are ruined films.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Well, the first one here is from 1980. In Friday the 13th trailer for the film that came out in 1980, it shows the death of every character chronologically as they die throughout the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
Are you sure? You're sure that's not like a modern trailer where they're hyping a old movie? But the contemporary trailer did that.
The original
Really?
trailer, yeah, the vintage.
I'll be
Friday
damned.
the 13th film, yeah.
I gotta go
Wow.
watch it.
How about this one, John? Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock came out in
Oh.
1984, the best year for movies. You know what I'm going to say?
The teaser was good. The teaser was fine because it didn't show anything. However,
Yeah.
if you see Spock anywhere in the trailer, guess what? You found him.
Yeah. And they show the destruction of the Enterprise.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Now
They did.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing those trailers.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't spoiled for me. It didn't occur to me. Yeah, it
And the
is.
voiceover at the time they show the Enterprise explode, says the last voyage of the Enterprise, and it blows up.
And it blows.
You're like, oh, I guess that's gonna happen. It was a dream.
It was a simulation.
In the it was the holodeck that hasn't been invented yet. In the Footloose trailer, it tells very little of the story. It's just a montage, but it shows a lot of dancing for a town in which dancing has been banned. Revenge of the Nerds, also another 1984 film, and I'm focusing on those because it's the 40th anniversary. And we have a guest coming in that was in 3 1984 movies.
So exciting.
We see Betty first reject Lewis. So Betty's the ingenue that everybody is after in Revenge of the Nerds. First, she rejects Lewis, saying, "I'm not kissing a nerd." Only in the trailer to see her just a few moments later making out with him in a scene that's grabbed from the climax of the movie.
Oh no.
And she
It's
says,
a simulation. It's on the holodeck.
she says, "Are all nerds as good as you?" or something like that.
Well, it could have been a dream sequence, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
And then finally, this is my final example from the 1980s, The Karate Kid. It shows the crane kick.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that.
You see,
I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you might not know the importance of the crane kick or why it's being used, but I get,
Yeah, that's my question, John. Is it clear that how important it is? Is it the crane kick?
For me, what happens is maybe it's my memory is just too good. Like I have a sort of semi-photographic memory, which isn't as good as it is in the my 50s rather. So I'll remember that, and I'll see. My brain will be like, "Oh, this is the scene."
There's that thing.
Anyway, there's plenty of more contemporary reasons to avoid trailers. Examples I can give you. The one that stands out for me that I remember seeing at the time was, and John, actually, you're a fan of the Terminator franchise. Every Terminator trailer since Terminator 2 has ruined the twist of who the villain is.
Oh,
or
Terminator 2 didn't ruin it, did it?
2 shows him. Yep, they show him. Don't kill anybody anymore. He's like, okay, can I shoot them in the leg? Whatever that thing is. They show that.
The interchange with Edward Furlong.
Yeah,
right.
to know that he's not the bad guy. Which clearly Cameron shot it in a way that it was supposed to be a surprise because when you watch the movie, they don't reveal it.
He's coming down the hall with the flowers and the shotgun is in it, and you think he's after them, and he's not. He's there to protect them. Yeah. Spoiler alert, by the way.
In Genesis and Dark Fate and all those other movies, the trailers ruin who the
man.
Anyway, there's a bunch of others, but that's plenty of that. Let's get to one-hit wonders.
Well, real quickly, I'd tell you, it's not a trailer, but you just reminded me that I remember there was an article I read about how modern, when I read this article, VHS boxes back then, how they were packaging movies and giving away the twist on the box. And the most notorious one was on the back of Planet of the Apes. There's a shot of the Statue of Liberty on the beach. Like, are you kidding me? And the assumption is you're buying it because you know the movie and love it and you will remember the twist.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in the 80s, we're VHS, late mid 80s, it wasn't that old that you'd expect everyone had seen it or was going to see it that was gonna.
Right.
Yeah. And that was to sell VHS tapes. The same reason these trailers are meant to get people in the seats. They're not caring about spoiling it. They're caring to make sure you go, what's the Statue of Liberty doing there? Well, you're going to be disappointed when you find out that's the big twist.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, let's see that. Well, let's check on some folks' comments with regard to the news first. How about to do that?
Sure.
You did highlight some cat.
Some of them.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
That's my prediction, by the way, for Ghostbusters.
I hope so. That would be amazing.
That's my prediction. I'm not even going to say it out loud. This is my prediction.
If it was John, he'd be in the trailer. He'll be in the trailer.
I'm trusting they're saving something for the movie. So,
John's teasing that Rick Moranis might be in it.
Shh.
What else we got here? Darth, is it Becca? Darth Baca, like Chewbacca. Darth Baca. Okay, there you go.
Darth Baca.
Hey guys, what do you think
Right.
of Travis Knight directing a new version of Masters of the Universe movie?
I didn't know.
I am look, I'm all for any attempt to revitalize that in a live action format. We've got plenty of animated versions of it lately, and some of them are fine. But I'm not a fan, as I've said before, of the 1980s He-Man starring Dolph Lundgren. So I don't care who directs it. Let's get it made. It's such a long struggle. Brandon says the trailer again referring to the Ghostbuster trailer, makes me want to see it all the more than the teaser did, to be honest. Nick says avoid the trailer has been my motto since the Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace, I remember what was spoiled was the dual bladed Darth Maul lightsaber.
The other one.
That was really cool.
Yes.
But it looked cool in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Karen says she was just looking at Paul Rudd. Okay. I guess a Paul Rudd fan.
Yes.
Craig says there's a difference between spoiler plot twist and spoiler thing that happens. I agree. I agree with that. And I'm more of the plot twist, variety. Or,
right.
I guess I'm also not a fan of big joke. Like, oh, that would have been a great joke to see at the moment.
Right. Tall, dark, and horny, 6 o'clock, whatever. That one is like, that would have been hilarious to hear for the first time.
At the moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or cameos, that kind of thing too. Like, again, I don't want to mention it if you want to avoid it, but there's some surprises in here. Charlene says reviews definitely affect my desire to see a movie, even if it's from a personal acquaintance. I agree. And a friend of mine, long time ago, we promised each other we would not build up anything to one another because you can't help but affect movie. So one of us saw the movie, the other one didn't. We'd say, "Hey, you saw Phantom Menace? Yeah. What did you think?" I'd see it. I'd see it again.
Right. Don't
That's
go,
it.
oh my
That
God,
was the review.
it was amazing. Right. Just
Nope. That's it.
Yeah.
Would you say if you
speaking
were?
of he who shall not be named, I just read an article the other day. I don't know how I've gone all these years not realizing that the man who would become the keymaster was always getting locked out of his apartment.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know how I didn't catch that twist in the film or in the mini of the rewatches, but
and equally, she never lets him in her apartment.
Right.
When he comes to visit, and
he keeps inviting himself. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That is pretty clever. Brendan also points out that in Friday the 13th franchise, the narrator even counts the deaths out, the murders out.
3, 4.
In
a world where this guy gets an arrow through the throat.
Rick points out something that could be a whole other conversation. What about the opposite when there is something in the trailer but not in the final cut?
Yeah. I always assume it's because it was garbage. I'm like, that's punchy, let's use it, but it would hit the cutting room floor because it didn't land in the thing. But yes, I remember seeing that in some Star Wars movie. It was what was the one that was the
Rogue
prequel?
One. Rogue One.
I saw scenes in that. I'm like, where was the cool thing?
I wanted to see that. Yeah.
That bugs me more because then I feel like I've been deceived. Don't show me something that you're not going to come, produce in the end. Yeah. That one bugs me more.
With the advent of CGI, they have either been putting stuff in the trailer to get people in, and then it's not really in the movie. Or I do appreciate Marvel, what they've done sometimes is edit it so they don't ruin something. Like the movies with the Thanos in it, like they edited out how many stones he had in his gauntlet, so you didn't know how far he had come. They edited out that Hulk was in a scene, that kind of thing. Or that in the Spider-Man movies that the extra others 2 Spider-Men were in there and going to be in the movie. That kind of stuff I don't mind.
That was
protects something.
Yeah, that was good.
Right. Well, these days it's easy because every one of those elements is just a layer in the editor because none of it was real. So you just untick this Spider-Man and untick that Spider-Man and render.
Yeah. That's actually what gave it away to some sleuths online because they were like, oh, they took off the Spider-Man layer, but look, the shadow layer is still there.
Oh.
It was something like that where you could see it like they left some artifact on.